Hi everyone, it is Tara here, coming to you from Dauphin Public Library. To get things going, I'd like to acknowledge that the land I am on is the traditional territory of many nations, including Anishinaabe, Métis, and Oceti-Sakowin, and is Treaty 2 land. So, back with our New Year's Eve book recommendations from the 132 books that I read this past year. So we are on to adult fiction books is what I've chosen this time. This category, I had a really tough time narrowing things down. I read a lot of great adult fiction books this year. I managed to narrow it down, I think, to 14 books, which is not a good narrowing down. I tried, but I couldn't do any better. So my end of year. So these are in the order that I'm showcasing these are um, reverse order from when I read them. So I'm going to start with the last one that I read that I liked and go through back to the first one. So last one that I read that I really liked was John Grisham, Camino Island. Um, I'm not sure if I've ever read a John Grisham before. Really enjoyed this one. I did read Camino Winds after this. I did not enjoy it the same amount as I did Camino Island, but maybe that's just me. Uh, so Camino Island, the first one in the series, really liked that one. Next one up is one of my favorite authors, Kelly Armstrong. This one is Alone in the Wild. It is one of the Rockton series. Kelly is a Canadian author. Can't remember if this is book 5 or 6 in the series, maybe 5, I think 5. Loved this one. It was fantastic. Um, Always worth reading, but this is a series I definitely would recommend starting with the first book, just so you understand how they got to where they are and how they got to this place. So start with the first. Next one up is The Secret We Kept by Lara Prescott. Probably can't see the cover that I've printed up there for you. The ones that I've printed up obviously are not here in this library currently. They are out and about. Every book that I read this year, though, is either in our library system as a physical book or an e-audiobook, because those are the two ways that I consume my books. This is The Secrets We Kept by Lara Prescott. It was just a really, really good book. Just a really good book. The Other Woman by Sandy Jones. It was good. There's a twist, and I thought there'd be a twist, but this had a twist that I was not expecting in it. So that's always exciting for me. The Henna Artist by Alka Joshi. It's been an incredibly popular book. A lot of people have read this one. It's a great book, really enjoyable, takes you to a different part of the world. Um, just beautifully written. The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes. Now, if you are a fan of Jojo, you probably have already read this book. I don't know if I've actually ever read a book of hers before. I know I started Me Before You, but I didn't finish it. So that's the only other book of hers I sort of read. So this one, I really love this book. It was really, really, really good. Definitely worth the read. Um, it's just good. It's just good. Read it. Okay. Next up is The Water Dancer by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Coates. Uh, wow. This book is just wow. If you haven't read it, read it. Read this book. So good. The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. I did this one as an audiobook. We definitely have a physical copy as well. The audiobook is read by Tom Hanks. It was really enjoyable with him doing the reading of it. It was fantastic. One that I probably will not forget anytime soon. Next up is Silke's Journey by Heather Morris. This is the author who wrote The Tattooist of Auschwitz. Tattooist of Auschwitz was a very good book. I liked this one better. I won't get into all the details, but anyway, this was a really fantastic book. Next up for me was The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. Just good. You just have to read it. You just have to read it. Nothing more really needs to be said. Next up is our own local writer, Greg Norman, with A Gift of Scars. So read this back in March. He has recently put out a new book, Destiny of Oz. So far I've only read this book. I really, really, really love this book. If you haven't read this book written by our local author, you need to pick this up. It's good. It's really good. City of Girls, written by Elizabeth Gilbert, who I don't actually normally like. I really don't like her at all. So this book, I'm not sure even why I picked this up, because I really don't like Elizabeth Gilbert. Might have been because of the cover being so pretty. I have no idea. I loved this book. Loved, 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 loved this book. I have no idea why I have hated other books of hers and then loved this one so much. But I did. Loved it. The Lightkeeper's Daughter by Jean E. Penziwal. It's just good. It's just a good story. Very good story. Definitely worth read. It's good. Just read it. Just read it. And then the first adult fiction book that I read of the year was The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek. And even though I loved all of these other books here, this one by Kim Michelle Richardson was the book that I still cannot get out of my mind. And this was read in January, and I can't stop thinking about it. So if you have not read this book, I strongly recommend it, along with all the rest of the books, the 13 other books other than this, all 14 books that I read this year that I'm recommending. Pick them up. Thank you for joining me. Happy New Year. Hope you are all well and safe. Till next time. Bye for now.